Carbon Cycle Game and Introduction, Part 3. Wait, what's that? Captain Time's face instantly flipped from rapt attention to fear. She took a moment to look up and down the blinking control panel, double-checking some lights and ignoring others. We have a problem. The fusion drive is acting up, and I'm afraid we won't make it all the way back to 1870. We need to pull out of the Einstein-Rosen bridge right now. If we leave this wormhole, when will we end up? Dr. Tiss asked. I have no idea, said Captain Time flatly, as she frantically flicked switches and rotated dials. But if we don't, then we will never make it back home. Quick, get on the controls. Mary reached across the panel and pointed to a giant lever. When I tell you to, pull down on this. The high-pitched hum that Cyan had gotten used to suddenly started to reduce in pitch. Now, Mary shouted. As soon as Cyan pulled the lever, the hum completely stopped and the scenery appeared into view. A large concrete building on the left, a grassy field to the right. It's definitely Earth, Cyan thought. Cyan looked a little bit more closely and made out a statue she recognized from some holobooks she read in school. The Statue of Liberty. But when are we? The captain relaxed. I don't know, we'll have to ask. Let's go. The pair changed into their 19th century clothes, prepared for their original destination. They both agreed that it would be better to approach this situation as cautiously as possible. The Statue of Liberty meant they had landed in Manhattan sometime after 1886. A more modern society might look at them strangely, but they could just pretend that they were headed to a costume party. Mary and Cyan hid their ship, now disguised as a covered wagon in a small park. Stepping out of the wagon, they immediately started to get clues about the time they landed. An LED display billboard cycled between an ad for Delta Airlines, fast food, and a promo for the new Lexus. Dozens of children streamed past them while yellow buses passed in the other direction. We must be near a school. This looks like the 21st century. Hey, excuse me. Captain Time quickly scanned the children. Her eyes widened upon seeing one student who looked particularly familiar. She called out to the older student, who was ambling along with corded white earbuds in her ears. As she pulled out one of the earbuds, Janae said, Me? Yes, I'm sorry. Can you do us a favor? Janae froze. She thought, what the heck are they wearing? Keeping her distance, Janae responded, Sure, maybe. Who are you? My name is Mary, and this is my friend Cyan. We're in town, and we're wondering if you could point us in the direction of the United Nations. Janae was intrigued. Two strangely dressed tourists. This is much more interesting than doing my biology homework. She pondered her response for a moment. Yeah, and tell you what, I live up that way. I'm taking the train. It's 9 stops north on the 6. You ever been on the subway before? Cyan's eyes lit up. No, we haven't. Mary stifled a laugh. We would be delighted if you brought us along with you. Sure, Janae said. Just got to tell me why you're wearing those clothes first. After making up a story about trying to travel the world like it's 1873, it's a generational thing. You wouldn't understand, Captain Time told Janae. And claiming that they had been on boats for so long that they had lost track of the time, they made their way to the subway station, working up the nerve to ask Janae into which time they had landed. Well, it's March. Oh, yeah, of course it is, Cyan scoffed. 20, geez, I haven't had to write the date in a while. 20... Janae looked between the two of them for a few seconds and then said, 2018? I am definitely not paying fare for you two. I gotta save up for the convention this weekend. You two sure that you're not into dressing up for these comic conventions? You sure look the part. They had reached the subway entrance. Mary and Cyan had brought currency from the late 19th century, but they knew it would never work in 2018. Cyan had an idea and excused herself to talk to Mary privately. Captain, we still have our uniforms on underneath these clothes, Cyan said as she picked at the waist. She might like to wear them. A few minutes and many frustrated words later, Janae was holding 2 vintage dresses, perfect for my next steampunk outfits, for the low price of 2 single-ride tickets and a pack of gum that had caught Captain Time's eye. You guys really want to get to the UN, huh? Why? Well, we really like to travel, see, Captain Time said between chews of about 5 sticks of spearmint. Dr. Tiss interjected, As part of our world travels, we wanted to see if we could speak with some foreign ambassadors about what we have observed about their countries over the past 80, spit the captain. 80 days. We're environmental activists. Cool, Janae said. Me too. And we're trying to not use fossil fuels on our journey. We're not driving anywhere. We're eating as little meat as possible and avoiding fast food. And we're making sure we power down all of our electronics when we're not using them. We're not buying anything we don't need, like gum, Mary. And we're taking public transportation, like this subway, Cyan explained. Mary swallowed. Her eyes grew large. This gum is quite strong. You're really not supposed to eat it, Janae worried. Oh well, let's get on the 6. By the way, my name's Janae, but my friends call me Nene. She looked at the two travelers who she thought now looked much less like hipsters and more like teachers. You can call me Janae. After some wrangling with the ticket machine and the gate, all three made their way down into the bowels of the city where they could start to hear the roar of trains, buskers playing music, and homeless asking for spare change. They stopped on a platform while a train with a circled number 5 on the front roared past. Not ours, Janae assured the worried travelers. What are you going to tell these ambassadors? Dr. Tiss started. One of the things we've noticed while traveling is how much of the world is currently using solar, wind, nuclear, hydroelectric. You mean dams? Janae asked. Yes, water can power entire cities if used correctly. The dams we saw in China were incredible. Also, there are some amazing things being done in Iceland with geothermal energy. Isn't that where they dig wells to get heat from deep inside Earth? Exactly. It's cheap and renewable and produces no carbon dioxide, Cyan continued. Unlike all of those fossil fuels used in cars, most electricity production, plastic and material manufacturing, and heating, Captain Time added. Seeing the circled 6 on the front of an incoming train. Is this train ours? Yep. Uptown on the Lexington line. Ever been to Grand Central? Travelers shook their heads and stepped onto the train. You'll love it. It's one of my favorite places to study. The world passes you by in no time at all. So taking the subway is really good for the environment, right? Better than driving, yes, the captain said. But electricity is still produced by burning fossil fuels, which puts carbon dioxide and water straight into your atmosphere.